Citizens R is evolving as the READiness partnership with NED continues. This April, your NED Democracy and Governance program is going to the Sahel. We will focus on Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and other West African countries, including Benin, Togo, Nigeria, and the Gambia. Bolder conversations, real voices, inclusive discussions. Let's talk democracy. Let's talk governance. Let's talk your truth. Citizens R Season 2 in partnership with the National Endowment for Democracy, NED, on West Africa Democracy Radio 94.9 FM, Dakar.
Hello there, and thank you for joining us on this rebroadcast of Citizens Hour on 94.9 FM in Dakar. I am Veronique Njai. This is the NED edition of Citizens Hour, and in this edition, our live discussion is co-presented by Atiewi Miller. For this edition of the NED Citizens Hour, our discussion focused on Benin's presidential elections, and the question was, how ready is Benin and the electoral bodies? Our guests were Dr. Ibrahima Khan, who is an expert on political affairs West Africa. We also had in the studio Gloria Boko, who is an Africa policy and advocacy specialist. Online, we also had Wuldat Mama, a Beninese journalist specialized in geopolitical and democratic governance, and Amzad Abdullahi, a political and geopolitical consultant. Candidates, Finance Minister Romuald Wadagni from the ruling coalition and Paul Hounkpè from the minority opposition are going head-to-head in this election amid heightened scrutiny over possible voter apathy and incumbent interference.
And tomorrow's vote follows January's parliamentary elections, where the ruling party swept all 109 seats in the National Assembly with a turnout of around 37%.
Today on Citizens Hour, we are asking the big question: how prepared is Benin for tomorrow's election? And are the electoral bodies in the country prepared for the elections to ensure a credible, transparent, and inclusive presidential vote?
Feel free to interact with us via all our social media platforms on Facebook and YouTube, where we are live. You can also interact with us on Instagram and on X at WADR English.
The conversation starts. The big question is asked: is Benin prepared for this election?
In the studio, we have Gloria Boko. She is Africa Policy and Advocacy Specialist. Thank you very much for joining us here. We also have Dr. Ibrahima Khan. He's an expert on political affairs in West Africa. But let's start in the studio, Dr. Khan. As a political affairs analyst in West Africa, what really stood out for you?
In 1990, when the world collapsed in Germany, we have a second wave of democracy in Africa. Benin was the first country to get into that system. And it was a genuine move, because what we then after knew as Conférence Nationale started in Benin. Benin was the first country to inaugurate that way of not only designing the new system, but also including everybody in the process of determination what will be the future of the country. So Benin is exemplary in that sense. Because of that process, Benin was the only country in the last 30 years in Africa where a constitution has never changed, even a comma. It was impossible to have a comma in the constitution without a genuine conversation among the stakeholders. All that has vanished because a system was set up by the president who is leaving now. He has transformed the country. He knew all the mechanism, all the system that were in place to control the state. We experienced the revision of the constitution, not once, not twice. he transformed the country in a system where everything starts and ends with the president. Nothing can be done without the president.
Gloria, are you surprised as well? Is this coming to you as a shock? And other points with what Dr. Kana said that maybe you disagree with?
I will not say I'm shocked. I feel like it's something we used to see in West African countries, but coming from Benin, who has been exemplary in democratic, is really surprising. And today, where we just have two candidates running for the presidential elections, we see many leaders of opposition who were sent in jail. Mr. René Agbojo, the leader of the Democratic Party, who was barred out from the election because he was not able to secure the requested number for sponsorship. So,
Vera, we do have some guests joining us via Zoom.
Yes, we have on Zoom Amzad Abdullahi, a political and geopolitical consultant. Good morning, Amzad. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, and you?
I'm good. Great to have you join this conversation. You are a Beninese. You stay in the country. You know what the situation in the country is like. Can you give us a rundown of what is currently happening in the country?
This election very important for Beninese because very important for democracy of Benin. About election, about security, Cotonou and the great city are safe, but about the city who are in the north of the country is more difficult because of crisis of terrorism.
Wuldat Mama is a Beninese journalist specialized in geopolitical and democratic governance. Good morning, Wuldat. How are you?
Yes, good morning. I'm fine, thank you. Good morning to everyone here on this panel.
You've heard what the panelists are saying, the conversation regarding how Benin has evolved over the past couple of years. You are also a Beninese. You stay in the country. You monitor the situation. 2 days ago, I had an interview with former Beninese minister, Depo Sonon. I'm guessing you know him. And he did say that Benin has its own type of democracy that it is practicing. How would you react to this?
Those kind of arguments are made to me in bad faith because there are standards of democracy, and when we are talking of elections, they are really standards which cannot be moved. We are hearing also voices asking for an African type of democracy, like democracy was imposed on us by foreign powers. Many people have under the impression that their vote is not going to matter, that everything has been decided beforehand. And just to look at the way the main opposition party has been discarded, all the previous reforms that have been implemented, and there is the reform in themselves, and also the way they have been implemented. Yes, I hope that answers your question.
It really does. And let's come to the studio, Dr. Khan. What would it mean for this election if the turnout was not massive?
Well, it will just confirm what we suspected, is that the democratic system is collapsing. A president is leaving power, but is organizing a system in the way that it will continue to control the system, even if he leaves the power.
Mr. Khan, I'll just come in there, because if we were to look at the parliamentary elections that happened in January, we saw a 37% voter turnout out of the registered voters. If 37% of registered voters are turning out to vote, would you say that election is credible?
No, but you have to compare that 37 and what happened in the last 20 years.
There has definitely been a downturn regarding the number of Beninese that have been voting over the past.
But it's not only that dimension. I think what we need to look at when it comes to our democratic system is to look at the participation. Who is participating in the election? Is the election free? Are people free to say what they want and to do what they want? Even if you have 90% of people who are in agreement with the government,
there's always
dissent. There should be 5, 3 or 7% who are against, who should be represented at the parliament. Because the parliament is the place where we discuss issues of the country. It's not the street. But you've seen now, because the parliament is controlled by the state, it's elsewhere that the people are going to discuss issues of the country because the parliament is irrelevant. But the second dimension, if you are watching the system in Benin, Benin was known in the past of a country where trade unions were really important, but also trade unions participate in any discussion regarding work. He stopped all of that. Said there is no discussion, even if you go on strike. Now there is a way to go on strike. It's not for the president only to determine. It's for the whole country to do. So
yes, because I think at the moment, some sectors are not allowed to strike, education sector, health sector, and even those that are permitted are only given 10 days of strike.
So all those issues needs to be looked at when it's come to really assessing the democratic system in Benin. I'm not talking you about the media and other. You know what Talon did? He took his own lawyer, his own personal lawyer, and nominated him as the president of the Constitutional Court. People decided, what is the usefulness of going to that Constitutional Court?
So then in that case, and then Gloria, that then comes to you, what is the point of having the election then?
Benin, like the vote for democracy, so they need to show the world that they want to show that they are doing fair, they are following the fair process that they adopted since the creation of the country. They want also to give a kind of support or legitimacy to the person who will win that election. Follow the process to show that they are fair, they are following the rules. So I think that's the main reason of conducting these elections actually.
Regarding social media, young people and their perceptions, I think it's time we take this Vox Pop in Benin, which reflects what young people think about this vote.
No, I don't plan on voting. I just don't feel like it. As for going out, I don't want to tire myself too much.
Of course, I am going to vote because it's a civic duty, and so any citizen who wants their country to prosper must vote.
I don't know yet. I'm still on the fence. I will see how it goes. Right now, there isn't anyone in particular. I don't feel like voting. Yes, I'm required to vote, but if the two candidates running don't align with what I want for my country's development, I'd rather abstain.
I want to live in a healthy democracy where everyone is free to speak their mind, where everyone is free to express their ideas without fear of going to prison.
Personally, I think that when it comes to democracy in Benin, it's true that on a scale of 100, I would say we are at 70. In the Republic of Benin, a lot of people think that democracy hasn't reached its peak yet because, as you can see, we only have 2 candidates. And a lot of people like me think that if there were truly democracy, we could have had 10, 15, 20 candidates. I want everything is fall into place so that the democracy we dream of will truly take root in my country, Benin.
That was the voice of young Beninese. Gloria, I'll bring you in now. How would you react to it? We have people saying they will vote, people who do not see the need to vote, and people who are a bit skeptical because they are saying it's just 2 candidates. Because like I said, the main opposition, the Democrat, is not allowed to vote because they did not meet the threshold that was introduced by the Talon administration.
I think every single person who spoke with their feeling, they are right. Those who choose to not vote, some of them feel, I assume they feel underrepresented because their candidates, their leaders were pushed away. Some of them just think that the result of the election is already shaped with the 2 candidates. And even some people are talking about a friendly match for this election, and I think I totally agree with them because the surprise will be to hear that Romuald Wadagni didn't win, and I will be very, very surprised. They just want to perform their first vote and have that ink.
All that you've heard Beninese young people and what they think about the vote tomorrow. What's your reaction? Because you are in Benin, you know the situation, and you understand the dynamics regarding perceptions. How would you react to the voices?
They just have the feeling that whatever the outcome, it has already been decided for them. Then About the young people, I think that, like in the Sahel states, we have to remind ourselves here to remember that the coup that happened in the Sahel states came from first social unrest. So these social unrest in Mali, it was a great social contest against Ibeka, which gathers political parties, which gathers unions, students. In Burkina Faso, it was mainly about security. In Guinea, to be a little bit west of the Sahel, really, it was more about the third term of former President Alpha Condé. So there had been a lot of demonstrations against this constitutional change amendment to allow him to have this third mandate. So why am I referring to this? I am because it is actually this social unrest. This is actually the bed which allowed the coup to take place, because the military saw an opportunity. It was a window of opportunity they seized. In Benin, you will recall, of course, a few months ago in December 2025, this attempted coup. And where Benin is different is that they saw what we're talking about. The military sensed that there was a general dissatisfaction with the way the social political scene was being organized, mainly by the power. So they sensed that there was an unrest, but so there are issues in the military which have come out about the organization, about there is dissent against the military. So they thought that actually they could take this opportunity, seize it to just as in the Sahel states to take power. But where it didn't work is that the Beninese are different. They have this attachment to peace. So it will be difficult actually for Beninese to agree to violence in the name of change. So the attempted coup actors in December 2025 actually hoped for a Burkinabe Senate where when he seized power, all your young people in most urban areas came out to support the coup. It would not have succeeded without young people coming out in the streets. So this is what they were hoping for, but it did not happen. So for young people, and I think here in Benin, the most likely scenario is for change, for real agency against, again, I would say, of the people. It would be like a change in the margin, but still in the margin of democracy. And this is like what happened in Senegal, for instance, with Pastef, which was a couple of years ago, still a very marginalized party in the political system, the political landscape, but which has become mainstream. So it would be more like a change from the margins, but still the margins of the margins. For the Beninese to go out and support a coup, I think it would take more.
It's good that we delve into what happened last year and also look at that in the context of what's happening now. One of the young people that we did speak to spoke about the fact that there are only two candidates. And if it was a real democracy, we would have more. We would have 5. He spoke about double digits. Wilda, do you agree that the fact that there are two candidates already is a message being sent, bearing in mind those who were disqualified?
Well, yes and no. Yes, because obviously there have been some reforms which have toughened the game for aspiring political leaders to come forward and to be candidates in these elections. At the same time, you have political systems where you have only 2 candidates, and actually they have come through a democratic process. So it really depends. We had a major political reform in Benin, which institutionalized 2 main parties for the power in place and also in the opposition. The coming to power that has taken place in 2016 and mostly had taken place in Benin would not happen again. That the random candidates with financial power, but also the knowledge of the system would be able to sweep everything There was a major reform a couple of years ago in Benin, which was aimed to me exactly as preventing what has happened in 2016, which is a candidate, people knowing that he was a main actor in the political system, but behind the scenes, but with the financial power to be able to sweep everything and take power. So this is actually a way also to control the outcome of the political system.
Mr. Khan, speaking about the dismantling of the system, I'll just bring in the creation of the Senate. I know you did speak about it when we started the conversation. However, now we are talking about Benin having a Senate, and this Senate will comprise of possibly Talon, because the new president will be the one to choose the members of the Senate. And we know that the favorite to win the presidential elections, from all indications, is from the ruling coalition. How does it look like, looking at the fact that this Senate could possibly have the current president, who is the one who introduced these reforms in it?
It's good that you mentioned the Senate. First, the Senate was the last ideas of Talon, because now he knew that he was going, but now he knew that he has a lot of enemies, and maybe now he knows that maybe controlling the new president will be difficult. He wanted to put a system where he will be still in charge.
As we wrap up this conversation, 2 quick questions. You can choose not to answer the first one if you feel that you're not comfortable answering. But will you be voting tomorrow, and what are your expectations post-election?
Well, I will stay home tomorrow. Yes, it's very difficult, and the more you are aware of the stakes, it's very difficult to, in good faith, actually think that your action would bear some influence. Yes, I would stay home anyways, and maybe, hopefully, a change can come from elsewhere.
Well, we do wish you all the very best, and please do stay safe. Let's come to our studio. Dr. Khan, expectations post-election doesn't look very encouraging. Is there a glimmer of hope anywhere?
Well, hope, yes, hope. There is always hope because it's about people's life and it's about the future of a country. There is always hope. This could be seen as just one step in the trajectory of the country. But something that he mentioned, and I really would have loved to discuss it here, is the program. Because if there is no offer to the population, how do you want the people to go and vote?
Like a manifesto.
Yeah, not only a manifesto, but saying what you will be doing. The problem is not just even about what you will be doing in the economic side and other. We are in a changing world. There is a shift in many. Look at the geopolitical shift that we are looking at now.
Yeah.
All these politicians need to have a position on it. They need to offer something to the population. West Africa is, the economic community of West African states is collapsing. What is Benin's position? Are they in favor of economic integration? Are they in favor of something else that needed to be known?
And we don't know that.
CENA? The third element is there is a world in transformation, the digitalization and all its implications. What are the position of the two
What's
candidates?
the strategy? What's the plan?
What's the strategy?
Unfortunately, we don't know.
Okay. Final words in 30 seconds, Gloria. Kindly tell us what we should, or what Beninese should be looking forward for tomorrow.
Oh, I think we are just one day before the election. Everything is already set up. Like my fellow said, the program they are proposing, because Romuald said he will work in continuity of President Talon's politics, but will people feel included? Will the population feel included in that politics? Will the community feel included in that politics? And I think that's where the need, if they really want to complete or to do more than the upcoming 14 years, that's where they need to really work. So good luck to the two candidates.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Gloria. And also thank you very much, Mr. Khan. We would also like to thank the people that have joined us online. That's Amzad Abdullahi and Wildat Mama. And also thank you to Alpha Abubakar for setting the ground for the conversation. And yes, as the Beninese people cast their ballot tomorrow, this NED edition of Citizens Hour has highlighted how prepared the country is and what is really at stake with regards to participation, trust, and inclusive participation. You've been listening to West Africa Democracy Radio 94.9 FM. I am Veronique Njai.
And I am Atia Win Imbila. Don't forget, tomorrow is election day and WADR is the station to stay tuned to. We'll bring you comprehensive coverage. Thank you so much for your time and have a good afternoon.